time for the final match of the night, the most important match. This match will determine which player will go directly to the grand finals. We'll skip the gauntlet phase. The loser, of course, will have to play against whoever goes up to fight. It feels like this is one of two semis in a way. Like, this will lead to the first finalist, and the second finalist will have to play against the loser of this to either take his spot away, or the loser of this, of course, could end up being in the finals anyways. So we will see. This match is really important because it means that the winner can just completely skip everything, just watch all the matches, prepare at home, not have to actually have the fatigue of coming down to playoff days. So
yeah, and this season in SSL Classic really felt very top and bottom heavy. We had 2 or 3 players that were just always towards the bottom of the standings, and the standings really didn't fluctuate all that much aside from a couple in the middle. Effort and Mind just looked heads and tails better than every single player. And really, when it came to their head-to-head matchup, that's something I always wanted to see, but we never got to. And it's all literally come down to this, our final match.
Yeah, it feels like this was all like pre-planned, like or scripted, right? Because it's like, well, how does it be that the top 2 players are playing on the last day determining who goes to finals? Then it's the most epic match that we're going to have in the round robin. But no one could have known that Mind and Effort were going to play this well at the beginning. And now it's our final match of the night, too. It's the marquee match. It feels like everything just kind of comes to a head in this weird, unlikely scenario that's the most important one.
I mean, this is very much like if you watch like UFC, you know, they have the preliminary matches, then it's like the main card, and then at the end of that is the main event. Well, this is very much so that. An incredible matchup. You have one of the best Zerg players to ever play the game. I think probably like second or third best ever. Just in Korea, in the world, it doesn't get much better than Effort. And then against Mind, a player who really just smashed his debut into the scene, but after one good year, was never really able to ascend to that fame. Well, now he's getting dangerously close to it.
Yeah.
This is Mind.
I mean, to get another grand finals under his belt, I mean, it's crazy. In round robin, normally the last week, see SSL Premier, the last week almost means nothing for most players, and that's part of the reason why we have the fight money on the line to actually give that extra money to the winner, which is always the best way to run a round robin, right? But normally the last day of matches doesn't matter that much. Most things are already determined. Today, every single match actually mattered a huge amount, a significant amount, including the last one, 3rd and 4th place determined. This is 1st and 2nd now. Effort, the only game he lost this tournament was against Hero when he had the build order loss. He's since adapted his style in the ZVZ, defeated Sulky with the blind in-base hatchery, and it is just crushing everybody else left and right in terms of really top-tier control, and his meta lists have been stellar. So I think we're definitely going to be seeing some of those metas. Very high chance against Mind here as we go into match point, actually the map for this final best of 1 of the evening. This is it. The winner will go to the grand finals. We're going to go into this match right now. Mind versus Effort.
Huge cheers for Effort and for our sponsor.
This is the match everyone has been waiting for. Of course, the bottom left, it will be Mind spawning as the Terran player to the top right, Sulky in red.
And
match
wow,
point, man.
What a game. What a map. This is literally match point.
Yes.
As it is. Well, this
and it's a 2-player map. It's the 1v1. It's the perfect map, it just feels, for this matchup. And we don't see this map very often. As you said earlier when we had our map list up, it's pretty rare to see this match even used in competitive play. And already, SCV coming out.
Oh boy,
here we go, man.
And here I wanted a macro game. Well, this is going to be a very interesting situation because you're going to see hidden barracks here way off in the middle of nowhere. Now, for Zerg players, especially on two-player maps, you really only Overlord Scout. If you drone scout on a 2-player map, that means you're really worried about something because you know exactly where you need to go. Now, this drone is out to make a hatchery. Hatcheries don't deal any damage, Wolf, and that's going to be a little bit of a struggle against these proxy barracks.
So it's just going to be the one proxy.
Okay.
Similar to what we saw in the light hero match. We'll see if this ends up doing a lot more damage. The reason why that first barracks did nothing was because it was a spawning pool first. Smart by hero considering light's aggressive nature. Okay, look, he's waiting. He wants to check for barracks before he makes this. He wants to make 100% sure. Unfortunately, oops, it's a proxy barracks. It's just not as heavily proxied as Effort expected. So this actually still could come back to bite him. See how many SCVs get pulled here. A drone is just looking in all the wrong places.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about. The only reason you drone scout on a two-player map is if you expect shenanigans, and that's exactly what is happening here. He looked around the map, he didn't see anything, he looks into the natural, and this is when things might start to get a little bit wacky. He's going to run through everything. There's no sign of even remotely an expansion. He's going to run in and not see a barracks.
No barracks, only the gas here. Here comes the SCV. Drones should be pulled almost immediately here. He sees the SCV with his hatchery even. The SCV got so close to it. Bunker's coming up. Drones are coming off the line here. This is it. He needs to defend this.
Those drones were a little bit late on the pull.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, as soon as that drone got into mine space, Effort should have immediately pulled them. Now, this bunker is dangerously close to completing.
This bunker's not even supposed to finish.
Oh, wow. 6 around there. Effort completely shuts that bunker down.
That was so close. The bunker's not supposed to finish in this case. It's just to force drones off the line. Maybe you kill a few while they come off, and you're losing mine time, obviously, if you're Effort in this case. But if that finishes, he might have lost the game. 3 Marines actually here. No surround on the second one, but does get the first. Already several drones going down, though. And this attack is not over. The drone's actually coming back from the scouting mission from earlier. He actually didn't send an additional SCV. So I know everyone was hoping that was going to go try to finish the bunker, but he does cancel it, and that's the end of the rush. But that was so close. If Everett does not kill that SCV, the bunker finishes, the hatchery either has to be canceled or he has to pull everything and go for a last-ditch fight to stop the Marines from getting in the bunker. He still actually gets significantly behind because this loses one more drone, but I mean, this could have been lights out at the start.
Wow. Yeah, a very aggressive strategy. It's nothing quite as crazy as like BBS, barracks supply. That is insanely all in, but impeccable control, great decision making. Effort handles that beautifully.
So factory transition here, that's why you got the early gas, and just going to follow this up with some vultures to help secure the natural, and we'll eventually tech to a somewhat delayed 5 racks will probably be the follow-up strategy here.
Yeah, and you can't
actually going into Starport very early. Did not expect that.
Very strange to see this 1-1-1 kind of idea after a proxy. Usually you want to, like you said, go into vultures because you have to be able to kill the Zerglings that the Zerg players produced and then secure a natural. He's going to go for the natural now, but I think he only has maybe 1 vulture on the way.
Yeah, there's 1 on the way, and he has 1 here, so 6 Lings, if they get the surround, can kill us. It'll be unlikely to be able to stop this vulture, but he's going to get the scout, which is, I think, even more important. Okay, needs to deny these from getting into there to see the Starport. No tie. Well, doesn't get the last one because he wants to protect the CC, but here comes the Zergling. He's actually attacked with SCVs here to block this. He does, but it doesn't stop the Zergling. It sees the Starport.
Beautiful scouting there. So many things had to go perfectly for Effort to get that information. A lot of the weaknesses that Zerg players complain about is that scouting is so difficult. And there's just like a miracle move from Effort to get that, the only piece of information that he could have possibly needed at this point in the game.
He also denied these SCV from building the command center, so he delayed the CC. I mean, he's got so many tools now to deal with this. Could just make sure that he has Hydras out. Obviously, there's nothing you can do against the first Wraith, but just going to prepare with Hydras at home and should be totally fine. One of the things you can do in this situation, and I like what Mind is doing here, sometimes you'll see a Terran player add a second Starport in a situation like this and say like, oh, okay, he's scouting me, so he thinks I'm not going to commit, but I'm going to doubly commit, get the control tower, get the cloak field for the Wraiths, and go double. But he's not actually going to do that. Just going to stick with the 1. Does add the control tower. Isn't researching cloak yet. Now vultures are coming across the map.
Might actually get a second Overlord here. That would be a little surprising. But yeah, their sunken colonies already completed. Hydra's already out. These vultures will be totally ineffective. And okay, yes, you killed 1 or 2 overlords. Great. But
where's going to be the follow bio pressure? That's going to be so delayed.
There's no bio. There's not even any mech. You barely have a natural expansion. Mind committed not only to an early rush, but then he went into a factory and a starport immediately afterwards. He's going to try to get damage done with this drop. I didn't even know if he was going to continue to go for drop, but if this doesn't work out, then Mind is behind.
I mean, massively so. And let's see what this drop gets done. The Spire's already come up. Effort feels comfortable to get a Spire and take a third base at the same time hyper early. Now, last time the drop hit Effort, he was completely blindsided by it, actually, on this map in this very matchup. Has a Hydra in position once again, actually. I mean, I feel like I'm watching Deja Vu. Just last time, too, the Hydra was out of position to spot this until all Vultures were out. He still has a lot of Lings here in the main base, but they're going to get cleaned up very quickly. Needs to get into the drone line, though, if he wants to make these Vultures worth it. Not good targeting here either by Effort onto the weakened Vulture, but now he's just got too much.
All right, nice surround there on at least one Vulture coming, or Wraith coming up to try to deal with that Hydra. Does in fact take it down, and this might just be too much damage.
Now there's Spider Mines here, and Effort does not target the right Vultures. Okay, several Spider Mines coming in. Oh, those drones scared me to death going near those Spider Mines. Sees the Spire, but finally this is shut down.
Wow, yeah, beautiful mind drag there by those couple of Zerglings using the Vulture's mines against them. And I think without that, maybe Mind just gets one Vulture that can never die. Now these mines, oh my god, how many? Okay, so if the mine actually fully connects, then that's going to kill the Zergling, but sometimes the Zergling can actually run towards the outer edge of the splash damage of the mine, and it doesn't die. So yeah, a little bit of a weird.
It's a weird, funny interaction where like the Ling will just kind of skirt the edge of it, and it's just barely out. But 2 more Vultures get dropped in here. There's a Hydra to defend, but he needs more than that because Vultures will 2-shot the drones down very quickly. While he does grab that Vulture before the drop ship can pick it up. Kind of a clunky unit in Brood Wars.
Okay, now this is the big reveal. However, there are a lot of Scourge out. So what's about to happen right now is the big surprise. This dropship's going to go down, but what Effort doesn't know about are 3 cloaked raids coming across the map.
Yeah, this is kind of a different variation of what I was talking about. I was like, it's the last thing he expects me to do is to commit to cloak. He didn't go double Starport, but he pulled raids here in the main base, and now I was just going to suddenly surprise with them. Ooh, looks like the Wraith went down immediately. It was the first one from early on in the game that was super low. So actually good targeting there by Effort. But look at this bio army. Oh, there isn't one. I see.
Look at the mech army. No, there's not one of those either.
Yeah, I mean, this is just... Now Effort is free to get Defilers, have 3 bases running like optimally, without even having Lurkers, by the way. Without even having Lurkers. It's only made Scourge from his Spire to shut down drops and help shut down those Wraiths. And, I mean, he even used the Scourge to scout the main base. He was like, well, what do you have?
My Vulture control has been a little bit off. Okay, now it looks really good, but you only have 1 Vulture to control. And that 1 Vulture makes up almost, maybe 50% of your army. Yeah, he's got 1 more Vulture back at home and 3 Marines. All right, good job, man. This is a great place.
Well, I mean, the other thing, too, is just like putting all of his resources in terms of APM on to control this 1 Vulture. It's valuable. He gets 11 kills, but... I mean, I guess theoretically when you're at this point in the game and you're so behind, you don't have a Bioforce to pressure with, I guess what else are you really even doing?
Yeah.
So, yeah, your point about the Vulture control being fairly weak definitely stands. These Scourge are actually going to look for any dropships that might come out and or potentially a Science Vessel. I actually thought Mind had gotten wind of this, but perhaps not. Oh, no, the Wraiths are going that way.
I mean...
he saw the Scourge there and he was like, well, they've got to be looking around somewhere, right?
I mean, they are, in fact, right there, and I think here comes the big chase. We're going to see Zerglings on top of these Vultures. That's never a good sight to see for the Zerg player.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the Vultures are going to clean these Zerglings up. It's very cost-efficient, yada, yada, of course, but, like, the real story here is that the Effort is not pressured or touched on the map at all.
Hive now.
Yeah, he has a Hive. He's going to have Defilers. He's got 3 bases, uncontested. And what does Mind really have? Not much at all.
Yeah, this is a terrible place. So what should be happening right about now, or in maybe a minute from now, is that the Terran player has sat back on 2 bases. He's got a large mech army complete with several siege tanks and several big minefields laid across the map. And so then he'll push against this N-shaped high ground in the middle of match point and use that as a way to slow push his way towards the Zerg's third base when he comes down the middle arc of the N, take that third base out, and from there the Zerg is in a bad spot.
That's the idea. And so right now he has this large bioforce he's pulled up on 2 bases. He has the science vessels, and he just wants to kind of do like one last hurrah, one Hail Mary push across the map to smash the third. He may even go for the natural because he's that desperate and he wants to hit and really kill the Zerg, cut him off between the bases. But I mean, it feels like that's his only option. Taking a third base from here and expanding and taking up just feels like it's never going to work because he'll never be able to hold on to that third base easily. And the Zerg will just pop out of control with all the resources built up. He'll have the Ultra super fast, the upgrades.
Look at this army. It's all bio. He has like 1 tank, maybe 2 tanks in this. I think he has 2 tanks in this army. There's no possible way that that breaks this ramp. He's got 4 lurkers at the top of it. He'll have Dark Swarm, he'll have Nidus Network, he'll have everything that he needs. Effort is bulletproof.
Dark Swarm ends this composition. It just will not work effectively. I know in the old days, before the mech transition was there, some players have pulled off like Flash in certain awkward positions, but can Mine do it? It's going to be real tough. Now, Irradiate will help him break the lurkers at least. Here he goes. He's going to try to burst up here. There's no Dark Swarm. The Nice, we're waiting for a Defiler to pop up, but it's not happening.
This might be seconds too fast for Effort. And he actually will lose all these lurkers. Sunken not done in time.
Okay, the Defiler's here just too late. He doesn't even have enough energy. He's using Consume right now. He's targeting the Defiler. Looking for it back there.
Okay, now the Den is going to be safe for now. No, it goes down to the splash damage. Wow, that's going to get a lot of damage done. There's lurkers in the back line. And Effort will stay safe for now. But at what cost? He lost his Defiler Den. And that is a big tech structure to lose.
Yeah, it's actually really unfortunate. And he... nice drag.
No, Mind Drag. Whoa, that could have been so dangerous.
Well, as it turns out, like because that was a razor thin edge, it almost was really dangerous, but it also was really cost inefficient there for Effort. He lost a bunch of lings. That was a narrow hold for Effort. I mean, that was a really close call. He almost didn't get the Dark Swarm off. Had to use the Consume.
I don't even think we can call it a hold necessarily just yet.
Sure.
There's still no way for Effort to get reinforcements down there. There's say 6 racks in the main. This is not sustainable. So as a Terran player, you can stay on 2 base for a long time, especially if you're going for bio, because Marines are very cheap. But you can't stay on it forever. And if Effort holds now a 4th base coming up, I don't know, man. Mine needs to take another base and just start that 3rd command center now.
As long as he has enough Irradiate energy to take these lurkers out, just using that slow siege tank damage. Ooh, needs to be careful with these reinforcements. Walking into lurkers. This is like not even... Like, this is not like a sneaky trick plan of Efforts. This is just bad control, bad map awareness. It's because he's dealing with these lings. Has to cancel his CC. Loses a Science Vessel. I mean, suddenly Mine's control is all over the place.
Yeah, much like his units, very, very spread. You can see them just continuing to rally across that N-shaped high ground down towards the 3rd base, but Effort has managed to survive. How do you know? That's the 3rd Science Vessel in a row.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this is, like we said, this is kind of like a Hail Mary push. He needs to make this work because you see the 3rd CC on the map, it's actually building. It's not even mining. It's not ready yet. He needs to make this very cost efficient. He wants to, at like worst case scenario, kill this hatchery or at least really severely cripple the mining here. And every time he loses a vessel, it weakens his chances of pushing up that ramp. He doesn't have the siege tank count. He needs to deal with Dark Swarm. And in fact, this is going to be a Dark Swarm collapse here on this army. Does control the vessel this time.
Okay.
But loses his position. Now he can't attack this base anymore. Like you said, the army was split into 2 groups. And it's not as strong when they're like that. And now he's going to lose half of his army. The rest of the army is caught in the middle of the map. And things like this are going to happen. There's only half the army.
Mine's not reacting. There's no mines set up. The lurkers will burrow. Scan does go off, but so many lurkers here. They might be able to take out all these Marines. Dark Swarm comes down at the last second.
Okay, double drop coming to the main base. This needs to do a lot. With that army cleaned off the map, I mean, it's fire bats in here, so could kill a lot of drones. Let's see how quickly Effort can respond. He already sees it. He could kill a lot of the tech here, too.
Here we go. There's another Defiler Den built in the main. Lots of Zerglings here, but fire bats stimmed and running right on top of them.
Okay, Lurker does get burrowed here, but there's nothing on top of this army right now. Looks like he's not going to actually target down the Defiler mound. He wants to get the spawning pool.
What is he targeting down? He's not focusing anything, but yeah, finally going for the spawning pool.
If he actually gets the Hive here, it'd be huge. It's not going to happen. Killing the Queen's Nest isn't even significant at all at this stage because he already has the Hive. He's not making Queens because he's not dealing with mass late game mech because I don't know if we're ever going to see that for Mind. either way, still a lot of damage here, very annoying, but it could have been worse had there been more structures to target down. It's actually finally going to clear this up, but very cost efficient here.
Yeah, there will be the lurkers burrowing, and those drops will get cleaned up. Mind has finally barely established a third base for himself. That is desperately necessary. He has really failed to put sufficient pressure onto Effort, who now has 4 bases up and rounding, Nidus Network connecting them, and 5th hatchery just now, I think it's 6th hatchery, yeah, 6th hatchery on the way as well. Now, another couple of drops coming in, but Effort is more than prepared.
All right, so this is a lot of vessels. I mean, despite losing a lot of the vessels earlier, he's got so many of them. Fake drop here. Fake news, man. He's coming in with a science vessel. He's going to... this is just totally fake. Either that or he forgot to drop. I guess there was one Marine in there, but either way, it drew a lot of the attention away, but he didn't actually find... his army wasn't together, so he didn't find much out of that. You know what I mean? He didn't actually take advantage of that.
Real drop. I don't know. Maybe multitasking a little bit shaky here for mine.
Well, you know the thing is, if you're gonna do a real drop, then you need to drop it and then use that pressure to harass. If it's fake or not, I mean, he needs to be doing something with it, right?
So mine's pretending like it's a Zergling.
Oh no! They found out it was real or wasn't real. Okay, so if he was pushing this while doing the drop, I would have been really impressed with it. Still a really strong push, but it could have been much stronger. So a lot of bio coming in now.
Lurker's acting like this Dark Swarm over them, lasting for so long and taking out a sizable portion of Mind's bio ball. And I'm not sure what that Science Vessel is up there for, but looking to maybe work on a 5th base. That's a little bit optimistic, because now Effort finally able to push out across the map.
So this is the stage where finally, well, you know, I thought we might never get there with how this game was going.
Right.
Finally, with this pressure, can make the transition to mech. He has the ability now. He's got the 3rd base, he's taking the 4th. Enough pressure was relieved by him attacking there, so like these early run-bys look terrifying, but they're actually not that annoying to deal with, especially when they run into the bunker like this. So finally, he's going to make that transition to mech. He can add the infrastructure of the factories and just start to see the barracks floating away, so he can finally deal with these Dark Swarms. Unfortunately, Effort hasn't been too perfect with his Dark Swarms this game, not always having his Defilers with his army. But he's going to have him this time. Another Irradiate coming in. Oh, did he?
Wow. I think that's a misclick.
Yeah, I think he did misclick that on the Zergling.
All right, well, this is
like a nuke.
Okay, so this is really weird.
This is a way you can deal with the Dark Swarm, is you just use the Fire Bats instead.
So the problem is that if Effort at any point in this game takes to 2 control groups of mutas, mine just kind of rolls over. Now, one way that you can come back, these are crack upgraded Zerglings, so they have those adrenal glands. You get 3 control groups of Zerglings dropped into your opponent's main, you just win the game. And I think that's what he's going for here. He's just going to drop an insane amount of Zerglings into mine's main, and this could just kill everything.
Yeah, it could, but this is there's nothing to deal with this bio army right now. This base is defended. Ling's not finding much. This is actually, I feel like Mind is tricked Effort here. He's kind of trumped him in a way. Like, Effort just did not expect this. Now, the drop in the main will eventually be dealt with, but I don't know if Effort can ever deal with this bio here. He just now doesn't have the time to make that Mutalist transition you were talking about to deal with the Fire Bats. There's not a lot of stack defense here. There's no lurkers. I mean, this could actually steamroll Effort in the main base. Ultra's popping out, but they're not going to be the best against this.
And there's 2 more controller groups coming in here. Look at all those Fire Bats! Oh my god, attacking the Ultras at the same time is going to make a big weak spot vulnerability that Mind is going to exploit. He's not even fighting with all of his forces. The Cracklings in the main, though, are starting to kill a lot, but it looks like there might just be too much here. Effort finally clearing up 1 force. There's a plague on some of these Marines. Effort just struggling, barely trying to hold on, and it looks like he just barely will.
Oh, I mean, so tight of a hold here. And Scan's coming in as he clears up the last of these lurkers. Burrowed Zerglings too. But he kept most of his barracks alive, and because he's not too interested in actually going for that mech transition.
Big eraser, look at that, wiping out so many drones. Burrow does not protect you from that.
No, it does not. But with all this, you know, destruction on the side of Effort, like, those barracks are still up. You can replace this bio. I don't know if he's ever planning on making the transition to mech. The dropships live because he didn't make a lot of Scourge, so he's ready to do this again at any moment in time.
Now, Effort did lose a lot of drones from all of that, specifically that 4th base. Very, very difficult. And at the same time, Mind was able to get this 4th base up of his own. This is the big deal. Mind's main is mined out. Say that 5 times fast. And so if Effort can take out this 4th base, that is really just going to cripple his economy.
He actually needs to be careful about this Ultras because it is irradiated in his worker line, so that's actually killing a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, you almost never want to irradiate Ultras. That just makes them the scariest unit in the game. So yeah, he's actually killing a lot of SCVs just by standing still.
Yeah,
nice.
that was a mistake to irradiate that Ultra specifically. But anyways, he's struggling to deal with this. Lings are actually coming into his main base as well. We saw the destruction in the main as he was making his transition to Ultras. Now he has the Ultras, and just not a whole lot to deal with it. He irradiates again because he's that desperate.
Those Crackling's going to get back in for more damage.
The Academy's dead. He can't make medics anymore.
He can't make medics. He also can't build additional comsat scanners. He's forced to lift the 4th base, and that's just an incredible value. Now look at Effort streaming across the map, and all these SCVs just going down one at a time. Oh my god, I think Effort's done it.
Yeah, it was such a tight hold there, you know, against the Fire Bats. You know, that could have snowballed into the end of the game. Irradiate to killing so many SCVs. This base is going to go down. He needs to lift it.
He's not going
to. It's too late.
Yeah, the base is burning, and it's going to go down eventually. Look at all those SCVs. They're trying to get in here. Don't irradiate the Ultras.
In this case, it's okay. I feel like as long as he splits his bio, he's not even splitting his bio. So if he split the bio there, I think it's okay in this case, especially with all the Lings around. But I mean, you just make that Ultra do AOE.
So you know how the difference between StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 Ultras is lack of splash damage? Well, now Ultras have splash damage in the form of that irradiate. Murdering.
I mean, there are definitely times you want to irradiate Ultralisk, but these times were not it.
No, they certainly were not. And now Crackling's swarming through along with the rest of these very, very powerful Ultralisks. High upgrades for these Zergling units, and one Plague Zergling there blocking where Mine's expansion used to be.
This is the back of the Terran is broke, and he's just trying to desperately rally out Marines to defend, but now he's going to lose his science facility. More drops in the main. This is the beginning of the end. Even if he kills this hatchery, it can never make up for the damage already done on the side of Mine. Plague on the SCVs. I wanted to irradiate an Ultralisk now.
That is the get out of my game.
He should have just made a queen and ensnared them to slow their mining. GG.
Effort
is going to the grand finals.
Wow, what a performance there. Definitely, possibly 1 through 10 of the 10 things I like about Kim Jong-woo. Effort in the grand finals where he belongs. Mind put up a good fight and almost had it with those amazing triple prong drops. They got a lot of damage done, but in the end, Effort will clean it up. Take out Match4.
Mine with a big mind game there with the Firebat tech. Just not enough there in the end. And things definitely fell apart from him in the late game. He had a rough early game too with his Starport tech being scouted early on. And look, I just feel like this is a good example of why Effort is so good. He can barely manage that hold there at the end. He musters it up and has everything else. He just explodes all the Ultras. He can deal with these rough situations, coming in unscouted, unknown, still able to defend it. Good crisis management, I guess, is what I'm really trying to say. And now the Korean Air OSL champion has a chance to take yet another big StarCraft 1 title. It's been several years since then. That was in 2010. It's been 7 years since he won the OSL. 7 years later, now he's got another chance to win a Star League here in the SSL Classic. And Mind may be his opponent. We'll see if he ends up winning that gauntlet match.
That was a battle of 2 champions because Mind was able to, I think, win Nate MSL. It was 2007 as a Royal Rotor, and that is just so rare in StarCraft to have that happen. So really, just 2 absolute titans battling against each other. In the end, it is Effort that drops his first game and then never dropped any set after that. He'll finish the SSL Classic with a 6-1 score and make it all the way to the grand finals. But look at the players who will be fighting against him. Free, Sulky, and Mind. And here is what our playoffs look like.
All right, so playoffs will be done joint with StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1. So on Monday, we're going to have Mind versus Sulky and then Solar versus Stats. On Thursday, we'll have Free, of course, versus the winner of Mind and Sulky. And then Biel will face off against the winner of Solar and Stats.
Okay, and it should be noted that those Brood War sets will be best of 3s, and the StarCraft 2 sets will be best of 5s.
That's right. So it is the maximum amount of sets for Brood War is best of 5s. No one ever does best of 7s in Brood War. So the grand finals will also be best of 5 for Brood War, best of 7 for StarCraft 2. Those will be joint on Saturday, the 10th of June. So that'll be a great, amazing set of matches. Of course, the finals will be here in the Nexon Arena. Get your tickets early. In fact, I think this is the announcement, they'll be here, so you probably want to get them right now, or you might not get them at all.
Yeah, and if you are going to show up to the finals, make sure to come early. There are plenty of seats inside the arena, but when things pack out for the finals, you got to get here early to make sure you get the seats that you want. The next matches that will be coming up here in the Nexon Arena will be the SSL Challenge. That'll be this Saturday with Hero taking on Deer Classic versus TY and Beyond versus Rion.
Yeah, that's going to be really important. We're getting closer and closer to the fast lane to decide who's going into Premier next season. And of course, for Brood War, as mentioned before, there is no relegation, so the system may be updated or changed going into Season 2. And if Remaster gets released during that time, I mean, all you got to do is press a button to make those graphics HD. Ooh!
So that's going to be really, really sick. You don't want to miss those games on Saturday. Saturday is going to be a big day for StarCraft. We'll have GSL in the morning, then ASL in the evening, and then in the late night we'll have SSL Classic. So if you guys like the best RTS in the world, it's a good day for you.
That's right, guys. That's all we've got for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in through all these weeks. Please continue to help promote this tournament, because I know it's on YouTube. It's a little bit tougher for the English-speaking audience to find that, because it's much more common to watch on Twitch. And so, do continue to upvote those Reddit threads, get in the Team TL threads, tweet about it, etc. Get people in here, and of course, everything will be on this channel. The playoffs for both StarCraft 2 and Brood War. So, bookmark this YouTube link and keep it in your browser. YouTube.com/esportstv. That's where you want to be.
It is. So thank you very much for joining us for this season of the SSL Classic. We will be back on Saturday night for SSL Challenge, and of course have the SSL playoffs coming up the week following that. That's all for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for watching wherever you are. Have a good night.